Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Stephanie Ardrey. I'm known as Dr. Money, and this day one of Naked with Dr. Money. Naked with Dr. Money is a series that I have decided to launch that will allow me to take you behind the scenes along my journey as the CEO of a multinational wellness organization, which is in its startup stages of launch and expansion. I am going to share, the idea of what's happening behind the scenes because not only did I have the opportunity to work on with my partner building this organization, I also have been following many of the protocols with healing myself. And so it's been an exciting journey because we express the importance of holistic wellness, and that means addressing mind, body, and soul, and ensuring that you are healthy and taking care of yourself in all of those different places and ways. We have our wellness resorts in Jamaica. You can find out more information about them at 420 Wellness Jamaica. And what we deliver are opportunities for you to evaluate where you are on your wellness journey with the intention of living full life, which plenty of records have documented, scientific studies have validated is full life is 120 years and beyond. So today, as the kickoff to this weekly, noon or 12:30, 30-minute conversation share with you, I have invited my business partner, I say he's the rock star in terms of wellness. I believe not only in the protocols that he has recommended and continue to recommend, I believe in his vision as a wellness professional and wanting each person to experience their best life. And I am so grateful that our paths were destined to cross and that together we are on a mission to help and empower others to live their best life. So I want to take the moment to introduce to you all Dr. Aubrey Oliver. He's a functional medicine physician. We refer to him as the lifestyle physician. And Dr. Oliver, let me bring you on. Hey, Doc.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Coming
I'm
to us
good.
live from London.
London, yes, I'm in one of their precious little areas. They call it the Mayfair area. I'm in a I'm in a building called 57 Berkeley.
Oh,
So
okay. Oh, shoot.
Berkeley. So I feel like I'm in California, and even though it's cold, well,
Exactly.
Berkeley is cold too, isn't it, at this time of year?
Right about now it is. And sadly, there's been a lot of flooding up in the Bay Area. So it's right
Wow.
now, not in Berkeley, but up in the Bay Area in general.
Well, and I'm here, and basically, what's going on in London is there's few things popping up that we're actually enjoying and full joy, I should say. And what they are is just dealing with a variety of companies. Well, there are a couple of companies, I should say, that have invited us to do a couple of extensive stay. One reason why my is extensive here, and it's about doing testings that help us to help in the longevity of the patient. They're DNA related, which I'm excited about. I'm already, focused on activating stem cells in your body and dealing with your own DNA, making it healthy from the mitochondria of your cells, using nutrients that, as Dr. Stephanie talks about earlier, to get you to that 120 and beyond. One of the studies that we found out about is that certain things are more popular in super centurions in their diet, in their nutraceuticals that they take, and we want to offer those to our patients. By doing these tests that we're here in London working on, we want to bring to the clinics that we do internationally, that we're setting up internationally. So when you come, we want to know what you're lacking, what you have too much of going on in your system, how to normalize and regulate your system back to a good restorative health. Because a lot of these things that they're doing nowadays is, to me, we call it sick care, especially when it comes on to pharmaceutical. We don't want to just care you and take care of you for the rest of your life, which in that case, it wouldn't be very long because the medications alone will destroy your system, destroy your organs, destroy your tissue, destroy your cells. What we're focused on at our our group of companies, that we now label as Zen. What is it, darling? Zeniverse?
Universe Wellness Group.
Zeniverse Wellness Group.
We're
I love
cool.
the name because there's so much of these awesome names coming out like Metaverse and Meta, and we go on way beyond them. We're in Zena. We're in another planet.
I know. I
That's
know.
because if we can get you to 120, trust me, you'll be in Xenavas.
Living your best life, right? Right? It's
Exactly.
your best
You'll be
life.
going on to into orbit, into another planet. So what we're very proud of the things that we're accomplishing, the tests that we're doing, and getting patients to understand where they stand with their DNA, where they stand in their systemic enzymes, where they stand with the minerals. The most important thing to get you beyond that threshold of 100 and beyond. It's your these are the things that the body requires anyway. These are the things that you produce. I mean, when I had a patient today, and she was on 14, let me see, 14 different medication,
Wow.
14 different medication. She just had a heart attack over the holidays, and she's been so stressed. She had a heart attack when she was working about 10 years ago, and they put her on all these medication, including diabetic medication and all this stuff. And I said to her, what are you really eating? And when I check a stack, her biggest problem was flour related products, processed products. She's like, so I said, you cannot have these kind of products. She said, that includes pasta. And I said, yes, that includes pasta.
But the problem is, so Doc, I want you to address a couple things. I want to talk about, all right, let's kind of talk about, let's recap and reset, talk about our process a little bit, because the thing is when you and I intersected in Jamaica, I had no idea exactly who you were. We kind of met in a boardroom that we were at a meeting, but we didn't necessarily know one another. But I had set a mental intention that I wanted to meet a physician who was an expert on the cannabinoid system and on cannabinoids, because I knew that I was beginning to see more and more research documented saying that there was all of these medicinal benefits that people were beginning to realize. And then also, along with that, we are talking about just the impact, which we can have that as point two, about then leading into the conversation around mental health and how much gut health connects to mental health. So, kind of the first go back to the cannabinoid system. It'd be great if you can kind of explain to people about the cannabinoid system and why it's so essential that we nurture and feed and develop it.
And I mean, it's funny because I think that was one of the ways that's how we met, in the sense that we were brought together by someone in the cannabinoid business that was pulling me in, and somebody that was also in the health business. They're trying to create a health space, a health hospital, a holistic hospital. A former minister in Jamaica. in the politics world of Jamaica. And it was interesting because when I met him some years ago, it had to do with cannabinoid also, the minister. And then I met the other young man that introduced us. And what we did not understand, a lot of physicians, but Jamaica was doing some of these research from the 60s actually at the University of West Indies, but they were so limited. I wasn't there. That I was fortunate to meet some of those doctors that carry on some of those research that Israel now is taking claim to, like, oh, Israel is the one who go out and find out that you have a cannabinoid system and you need all different 128 elements of cannabis to work on different systems in your body. This was done in Jamaica. Jamaica at one point was giving the world over 70% of its cannabinoid intake in the 70s through various groups. But one main group was the Ethiopian Coptic Church. They used to get cannabis all over the world. Now, your cannabinoid system is similar to your endocrine system or even your neurological system. Your body is governed by a neurological system. What the cannabinoid system is there for is to hold on to certain medicines, certain nutrients, certain nutrition that already produces cannabis. Because when they had banned cannabis because the pharmaceutical company and the chemical companies wanted to make money, they couldn't compete with cannabis. They banned it because of those competition, and then they make it seem like, it's because they're trying to save us from getting high and this mad, what are these, mad reefer disease that they used to go out on in those days, the 40s and stuff, and showing these ads. They weren't doing none of that. And the body was still looking for, to find cannabis. The Almighty Creator put that in our system. The cannabinoid system basically stores cannabis for when the cells need them for healing. So
for
for
healing,
healing, exactly. So you can just, when people were smoking all that cannabis and drinking all that tea and all that stuff, the body stores it. So whenever there's a condition comes up in your system, it just goes there and helps the immune system do the healing. So so even when they banned it in the 40s, because of greed with these chemical companies, and I'm going to say it again, because of greed, DuPont and the pharmaceutical industry, the Rockefellers, when they wanted to sell their garbage, they banned cannabis. It wasn't that they weren't trying to help anybody with getting high, because they still let cocaine.
On this idea of helping anybody, because that can open a whole nother can of worms.
Exactly.
Go there.
So we'll go back to the cannabinoid system. So the cannabinoid system was looking for cannabis all these years. So there were different foods, different kinds of nutrients that would provide a little cannabis, a little cannabinoid, or I should say cannabis to the cannabinoid system. And believe it or not, black pepper was one of them.
Which to me, it explains why when I'm always with fresh milk, it's like, you need that. And
exactly.
I
had no idea you were feeding your cannabinoid system. Exactly. And then there's other herbs from the Far East, other kinds of peppers and stuff too that were and the Asians, like the Indians and stuff, that use in their dishes that had cannabinoids in them. And so some of us will notice that we're addicted to certain type of foods because our body was asking for those good nutrients and cannabinoid to apply to our cannabinoid system. So our cannabinoid system will take certain nutrients, or B12 and the Ds, and it used to supplement itself. When you go out and eat stuff in the bush, you'd get some of that stuff from there. So yes, it was a travesty that they did to us over the years. But for some of us to still live long, healthy lives, like some of these Jamaicans that I know that live beyond 100 and stuff like that, they were getting their cannabinoid from somewhere, which we're happy. to know that they were.
Doc, that's great. I think that's a great foundation. But I want to talk a little bit about mental health because last year we were both struck by not only people's reaction to trauma, which I have said all along that post-traumatic stress disorder is happens more than just on the battlefield. You know, you can suffer PTSD because you've had some kind of traumatic life experience. I know I suffered that at the sudden death of my mom, you know, at her young age of 48. That was a traumatic
Right.
expected occurrence. And I can tell you how there were certain things that I don't think I had, my brain definitely wasn't tested. But during that period, not only was I dealing with her sudden death, I was in litigation with my advertising agency. I had staff that I was negotiating, you know, severance and layoff. It was just a huge traumatic, you know, period of time that several competing, what you'd say hopefully are one-time events all happened. But what I noticed eventually was I had some initial like memory loss. So there was some trauma. And then I think that there was extra trauma that began to deposit itself in my body. And of course, it was when we did the assessment and we saw that my brain had the extra cortisol. And you were saying that it, you know, the adrenal, whatever. But let's kind of talk about the correlation to sort of even gut health and mental health.
So when you were experiencing those effects, especially after your mother's death, you were not realizing that you were basically damaging your adrenal glands,
Yeah.
very important glands, because what you were doing, the purpose of the adrenal gland is to deal with severe issues. But if trauma and other things like that, you know, situation where you need Superman power, the adrenaline glands comes into play. And but if we go through more than one of these things, and then to deal with everyday stress of California, you know, in that you live there, the traffic, and you know, just dealing with the not just the racism and other things that we have to deal with as Black people. We were constantly exerting and damaging our adrenal glands, which because we're exerting a poison out of there called cortisol. Cortisone is also coming from. There's other, you know, estrogen type of, and even testosterone that was being damaged by these, and these are important for longevity. So you were wondering why, you know, a lot of us were not living as long is because we were doing so much damage to our system with these poison. I mean, a lot of these cancers that we're getting, you know, among our people in our uterus area, in our ovaries, in our breast, in our prostate, in our gut, was all because of these poison that was excreting on top of the toxins that we were taking in daily just by being alive. You go out there, you breathe all these different toxins, you parasites that's already living in your system that you're getting from certain foods that you just, you know, just having these parasites creating all this inflammation in our gut. You know, life and death starts in our gut. I always use that analogy because, you know, we're started in someone's stomach, of course, belly, I would say. And then, you know, through certain conditions, certain lifestyle, we can also start death right there, you know. And what is very important is that we find out what creates a healthy gut. A healthy gut means you have to have a very good balance of what you call alkalinity and acidity. You don't, you know, you have to have that balance. And number two, you have to have a healthy growth area of good biotics, which we call probiotics. Um, Also, when we eat, because it's our second brain, we actually tell our brain what we want to eat based on what microbes and what you call pathogens and other things like biomes and let's parasites, bacteria, good and bad. They're all there. Billions of them, 40 billions of them running around our gut. We have 5 trillion. We have 5 trillion cells, and in our gut alone, with all the different things that I just mentioned, we have about 40 billion of them running around in our gut. So that's how important our gut is. So when we're eating, we're basically eating to feed what's there in our gut. So if you have too much bacteria, bad bacteria, then that's what's telling your brain. They got they got the what do you call it, you know, I guess you can't say there's a democracy going on in your gut, but the ones who basically wins out in your gut, if it's a bad bacteria, they get to tell the brain what to feed the gut. If it's the good biomes, they get to tell the brain what to feed. If it's the parasites, even the parasite have a say, you know, in what you find yourself desiring and going after. You'll be like, why do I want this kind of food and stuff? So your gut knows. Your gut is your second brain, and it knows what to tell the brain for you to eat. So that's why it's very important. Your gut health is the most important health. Every disease through inflammation in your gut, every disease comes out of what you're putting into your gut. Or
Wow.
most diseases, even the ones in the brain, because you think that Alzheimer's is not in the gut. Alzheimer's, one of the worst debilitating disease you can get is Alzheimer's, but it is from your gut. It's actually type 3 diabetes in the works.
Wow.
Type 2 is because of that same high sugar, high carbs, high flour diet, processed diet, why your brain, the neurons in your brain start dying and start, getting foggy and start mixing up, whether it's like the roads are dying in one area, the highway is dying in one area, and you have to go somewhere else. That is what's happening in your brain when you're not taking care of your gut health also.
You know,
So Alzheimer's.
it's a funny thing that you say that. I happened to notice a commercial, and here's the difference in the commercial. One commercial that was directed to humans is about, of course, taking medicine, a prescription for something, right? The next commercial that's talking about the ultimate in gut health is for the dogs. It's for the dogs and the cats. So they want the
Yeah, I
dogs
think I saw that. I
to
saw
have
that. And I
a
was saying,
healthy gut.
why are they talking about they're talking about giving the dog good biotics,
Right. And I said,
but yet
wait,
they're telling the human to
this
take these artificial synthetic drugs that's going to make you worse
oh,
than the dogs.
I said, oh my gosh, like what are they thinking about? But anyway, no, I appreciate you for laying that foundation. And basically, we're just at about to wrap up in terms of time. But each week, everyone, what I want to do is take you behind the scenes. I'll share more of my journey. Of course, I'll invite Doc and others who have been instrumental in contributing to how I am thinking, living, mind, body, and soul. What we're doing as we address and support the lifestyles for those of you who are ready to join our tribe, our wellness tribe, all of us that want to live 120 years and beyond. We see you out there and we got you. So all you have to do is check us out. You can come to 420wellnessjamaica.com. That's our website. So go there. You can get more information about Dr. Aubrey Oliver at Dr. AubreyOliver.com. That's DrAubreyOliver.com. So you can go there if you're interested in scheduling an assessment with him as well. And, stay tuned, send us information. Just begin to look for education and enlightenment so that you can explore other options that are beyond just traditional kind of Western perspective to your wellness. And so,
And
Doc, yes.
and get ready for our hotspots that we're going to be setting up for health retreats around the world. I think this is the year we're going to be launching some of them. We're looking at Cyprus, we're looking at South Africa, Uganda on the Lake Victoria. We have properties, and Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, definitely. We already have properties in Jamaica that we're ready to launch. And they're going to be fun because this is what we are going to be dealing with: your health, restoring your health to when it was at its best, whether it's 10, 20, 30. You know, if you're 90, you can feel your best health. And these areas are going to have the food that are coming from them. So these are in a lot of blue zone areas. So the food that these people are eating is what you're going to be privy to. So think about how you're going to restore your gut health, restore your overall health. And again, what you see on your face, on your skin, is what's going on inside of your gut.
Oh,
Believe it or
wait,
not. Yes,
you're wearing it.
you're wearing it. You can't go around it. You can't go around that. So, yes, so that's why you have to take care of your health. And the food is the most important, and the type of food is what's going to give you the longevity.
Absolutely. Someone else had asked me, why is it that you're trying to take us to all these places? And I said, that's the only way we know we can control what goes in from seeds to souls, right?
Exactly. Seeds to soul. And it must be fresh.
It
That's
must
the
be.
other thing. You cannot be going to these supermarkets and think that you're getting the healthiest food. You're not. If those food has to be going across country in freezers to get to you to look fresh, then you have a problem.
Yeah, a lot of times people forget about that they've lost a lot of the nutritional value
Of
just in
course.
transport. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so you need that much more
Right.
of nutrient dense and rich.
And plus, when you go to these exotic locations, the stress level drops. You're
Just
now in a healthier
exactly.
zone. So you feel better. When you're
Yeah.
eating under stress at home, you're doing a lot of damages. A lot of damages. People don't realize that. You should never eat under stress, number one. You should eat when you're relaxed. If you're stressing, a lot of people, that's when they go for the garbage to eat. When that's the wrong thing to do. They should be doing the opposite of that.
I've
You
had
should
people,
try and fast if you're
yeah,
stressed.
yeah,
Drink more liquid, more teas.
right. Right. Right.
Right. So, yes, we will educate you on those things as we go with our podcast each week. And basically, wherever I'm at in the world, I'll touch in and we'll get you something that will benefit you because it's about your benefit. What's
Absolutely.
beneficial? All things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial.
Absolutely. So I think we'll go ahead and end on that note, but thank you all again. I'll be here every Wednesday at 12:30 Pacific time, and we'll share some more nuggets. So see you soon. All right.
See you
Thanks,
soon. And
guys.
that's the good nuggets, not Mac nuggets, just the good nuggets. You get a lot of that.
Absolutely. And so for more information on Dr. Money, you can find me at drmoney.live, Live. See you soon, guys.
See
Take
you
care.
soon. All right.